The MBI says that the driver allegedly drove towards officers and nearly struck one of them before an officer fired their weapon. Now, the vehicle later arrived at a local hospital where 1-year-old Kohen Wiley was pronounced dead and another person was listed in critical condition. During Tuesday's Board of Aldermen meeting, residents called for the release of the video following the incident.
So we want some footage, okay, before y'all tamper with it and do all what y'all do. Before y'all do all that right there, we'd like to see some clear-cut footage as to what happened.
We got a 1-year-old who ended up being shot and killed by a police officer at Walmart. And it looks like this whole situation began because it seems like the mother was getting accused of shoplifting. Now, I don't know if she was shoplifting or not, but let's get into this and see what this whole thing is. And we got a few videos to look at.
A shattered window and bullet hole in the windshield. The aftermath of a deadly police shooting in Senatobia, Mississippi that resulted in the death of 1-year-old Kohen Wiley. The shooting sparking outrage.
I'm more angry because the situation that took place really was unnecessary. What I'm hearing from what happened, it was unnecessary.
According to investigators, the shooting, which took place Sunday in this Walmart parking lot, occurred when officers responded to a shoplifting call involving 2 adults and a child. Authorities say the 2 adults, now identified by the family's lawyer as the boy's mother and her friend, tried to get away, driving toward and nearly hitting an officer. Another officer then firing at the car. In this video, officers can be seen running. One witness telling a local reporter of the 2 adults. One was carrying the child, the other a box of diapers.
Policeman shot, open fire in a public setting over allegedly some Pampers.
Investigators say the trio ended up at a local hospital where the 1-year-old was pronounced dead. One of the adults suffering critical injuries. No officers were injured. The family of Kohen Wiley now distraught and demanding answers.
I don't know anything right now. My grandson gone. I just want justice.
Now, let me first things first. Let's be honest about this. Do I think that the cops should have looked or understood what he was shooting at? 100%. But we ultimately have to place the blame on the mother herself. I mean, people might go against me for that, but what are you doing trying to hit an officer with your car? I don't know if she was just trying to flee. I don't know if she was actually, but even that motion, we know what happens. It happened several times before. If you move at the officer with your vehicle, they're going to shoot. I feel like that's obvious at this point. So what are you doing? If you're caught, you're caught. If you're caught, you're caught. Don't try to run away and then almost hit an officer. Now, like I said, I feel like an officer needs to be aware of what he's shooting and what's around, because you don't want to accidentally hit somebody innocent like this young child. But the ultimate blame needs to be on the mother. But let me know your thoughts.
Tonight, the Mississippi Bureau of Investigation is now investigating the shooting. George Solis, NBC News.
All right. We thank you for watching.
Now, let's get over into this next video and see what else it tells us.
I'm Ruben Diaz. Here's your ABC 24 News update. The Mississippi officer involved in the shooting death of 1-year-old Kohen Wiley is currently on leave. In the meantime, people in Senatobia have packed a Board of Aldermen meeting demanding to see video footage of that incident. Here's ABC's Ezekiel Talamako with more.
Community members filled Senatobia City Hall following the death of 1-year-old Kohen Wiley after he was shot and killed in the Senatobia Walmart right off of US 51. Now, when it comes to community members, they say that they've had enough and they're demanding for evidence when it comes to what took place here on Sunday. According to the Mississippi Bureau of Investigation, officers with the Senatobia Police Department and Tate County Sheriff's Office responded to a shoplifting call Sunday at the Walmart on US 51. Investigators say that officers encountered 2 subjects and a child leaving the store in a vehicle. The MBI says that the driver allegedly drove towards officers and nearly struck one of them before an officer fired their weapon. Now, the vehicle later arrived at a local hospital where 1-year-old Kohen Wiley was pronounced dead and another person was listed in critical condition. During Tuesday's Board of Aldermen meeting, residents called for the release of the video following the incident.
So we want some footage, okay, before y'all tamper with it and do all what y'all do. Before y'all do all that right there, we'd like to see some clear-cut footage as to what happened at Walmart parking lot and what caused this deranged officer to feel the need to fire on a woman and a child.
MBI is over the investigation. Listen what I'm saying. I would like to see the footage just as well as everybody else in order to make a decision. I mean, you get what I'm saying? Brother.
Now, like I 100% want to see the footage too, but like I've said before, we have to also think about what the mother was doing. Now, if the officer wasn't in any danger and he just shot because he was scared, yes, the officer needs to be held responsible for the death of the 1-year-old. But if she truly didn't care that he was in the way and still rammed the vehicle towards him, am I surprised if the officer doesn't get in trouble for this? Somewhere, I think he might need to be reprimanded, but he's not going to get anything more than that. Yeah. But if she truly tried to run him over and he shot, it's ultimately the fault of the mother. At least that's what I'm thinking. Y'all tell me if I'm confused or if I'm not understanding it. But we've seen this happen all around. If someone drives towards an officer, looks like they're about to hit them, they're going to shoot. I feel like at this point it's common sense.
I understand. We need to suspend him without pay. Suspending him without pay until NBI finish their investigation.
100%.
City leaders also announced that the officer involved had been placed on administrative leave without pay pending the outcome of the investigation. Yeah. Mississippi Department of Public Safety Commissioner Sean Tyndall says that investigators are working to collect evidence and to complete a thorough review of the incident.
It's one of those things that across the board it takes time. Again, this happened on Sunday. We got to gather a lot of that evidence, and it doesn't just happen as quick as everybody wants it to. I understand that, but I cannot allow expediency to overtake the quality of the work that we're expected to do in these types of cases.
The Mississippi Bureau of Investigation tells ABC 24 specifically that this remains an ongoing investigation and that, again, they're going to continue to send more information to the Attorney General of Mississippi when it comes to what took place at the Walmart right here at US 51. Now, when it comes to the residents that I've spoken to, they are furious when it comes to the death of this 1-year-old child. Reporting in Senatobia, Mississippi, I'm Ezekiel Telemaco, ABC 24 News.
Now, I do wonder. Now, of course, like I said before, if the officer if his life truly wasn't in danger and he didn't shoot, or he couldn't move out the way, and he shot this innocent child into the car with this innocent child and killed it, yes, he needs to be held responsible. But if she aimed the vehicle towards him, and if the video shows that, will people accept it and think that, oh, okay, the mother needs to be charged? Because even if the officer did that and the mother should have never put this baby in that situation. Now, I don't know what she was stealing. Some people are saying Pampers, and that's crazy if she truly was only stealing Pampers. But let's keep going into this.
Now, the family of baby Kohen has retained nationally renowned civil rights attorney Ben Crump to represent them. In a statement, Attorney Crump said Kohen Wiley was a baby. His mother, who has not been charged with any crimes, says she was trying to communicate to officers that there was a baby in the car, but they fired anyway. That's your ABC 24 News Update.
Now, I'm ready to see that body cam footage. That's going to be the ultimate thing, because if they're pointing the guns at her, or because I'm assuming they already had the guns out, telling her to get out the vehicle, and she just drives forward anyway, while an officer's in front of the car, it seems like she needs to go to jail for the death of her child. I mean, I don't know if people will seem bad about that, but let's hear from the mother.
I raised my baby up trying to show them that he was in the car.
An emotional retelling of events from the mother of this baby boy who was shot and killed by a Senatobia police officer. Thank you so much for joining us tonight at 9. I'm Darcy Thomas. Lewis Bolden has the night off. Now, that 1-year-old baby boy was shot Sunday at the Walmart off of Highway 51 in Senatobia, Mississippi. Police said they were responding to a shoplifting call, and the driver of the car drove towards the officers. That's when an officer fired into the car, hitting the baby, Kohen Wiley. Well, today, supporters of baby Kohen and his family have set up a memorial at the Walmart in Senatobia. The store reopened this morning after temporarily closing last night following a protest. Now, that protest was also met with tear gas last night, and Fox 13 was there when officers used the chemicals trying to disperse a crowd that had gathered in front of the door. Fox 13's Rob Sneed and our photographer were both hit with smoke and gas. Rob is back in Senatobia tonight. Rob, baby Kohen's mother is now sharing actually her side of what happened.
Good evening to you, Darcy. It was very apparent that that mother was very upset, recounting how she witnessed her child dying and right in front of her. And as you mentioned yesterday, with the protesters being here at the Walmart here off of 51, the air is much clearer tonight because there aren't anyone here. You have a few law enforcement up here kind of watching the area, but in terms of the amount of demonstrators, protesters that were out here, the amount of police officers, deputies, none of that tonight as business goes on as usual, but still the community wanting transparency.
One of the shots hit him in his rib cage, and the other shots hit her in her arm and her thigh. And we left and went to Senatobia hospital where he was pronounced dead.
A mother reliving her worst moment of her life. In the video, civil rights attorney Ben Crump's office released today, Valasia Wiley says police officers killed her 1-year-old son, Kohen Wiley, during an encounter with law enforcement outside of this Senatobia Walmart. Wiley says she, her son, and another woman were leaving the store when officers approached. She says she tried to show officers that her child was inside the vehicle.
I raised my baby up trying to show them that he was in the car. So she was backing up and she hit a car as I was opening the door, so the door flew back in. By the time I sat my baby down, it was like 3 to 4 shots.
Wiley says gunfire erupted as the vehicle backed away, and she says her son was struck by a bullet. The driver was also hit, and they took Kohen to the hospital where he was pronounced dead.
Okay, I am mistaken. Okay, so that plays a big, so it's not the mother who drove the vehicle. If the driver drove that vehicle planning to hit the cops, the death of that child is on that driver. I mean, it just makes sense. Let's keep going.
They tried to say that she forcefully was trying to drive and hit them, but they was all on the right side and she was driving towards the left. They just personally just shot in the car.
The Mississippi Bureau of Investigation is investigating the shooting, and they said it would be transparent. But days later, the officer involved has not been identified. For Kohen's family, the wait for answers continue as they grieve the loss of a little boy who never made it home. And tonight, Wiley also says that she was never charged with a crime. Now tonight, that boy's family, they say that they want accountability and they want answers. Now, this isn't the first time transparency issues in the city have come up. The details coming up on Fox 13 News at 10.
Okay, I mean, 100%. Yeah. I don't know why did I hate when that happened. I don't know why. We have to wait until the video body cam footage comes out. That is going to ultimately tell us what exactly happened. Did the driver try to run into the police, or was she simply trying to leave without avoiding hitting the police? If they, like she said, they were all on the right and she tried to drive to the left, I mean, that's a different story than she deliberately tried to hit the officers. If the driver deliberately tried to hit the officers and they shot, of course, I believe officers need to understand what's in the car, why they're shooting. But if they think their life is in danger, they're going to shoot. That is what they're trained to do. That is what we know will happen, because we've seen several different scenarios about the same thing. But we have to wait ultimately to see what the body cam footage brings up. And that'll tell us if we should blame the driver or if we should blame the officer. But the real question is, I still want to know, was she truly shoplifting? Were they truly shoplifting? I'm assuming they were since they ran. But in general, we don't. Why are you having your children around if you're doing something illegal in the first place? But I mean, I guess some people don't have a place to keep them. I guess that's what they'll say. But let me know your thoughts on the situation, y'all. Let me know if you disagree with anything I said. That's a crazy situation. Like I said, protests have happened. They had to tear gas the Walmart, the front of the Walmart, to get them, clear them out. Let's get over into that AI breakdown. Then we'll move over to the next topic. So like we know 1 year. The 1-year-old was shot and killed by police during an officer-involved shooting outside the Walmart in Mississippi. The incident took place in the afternoon on Sunday, June 14th, and it has sparked significant community outrage. The police officer and Tate County Sheriff's deputies responded to a shoplifting report at the Walmart on U.S. Route 51. Authorities stated that they encountered 2 adults and a juvenile fleeing the store into a vehicle. Inside the car was the 1-year-old, his mother, and a family friend who was driving. According to the Mississippi Bureau of Investigation, the driver allegedly drove towards the officers and nearly struck one of them, promoting the officers to fire. In a video release, we know that she talked about they were just trying to leave and they was trying to avoid the officers. She stated that she lifted up her baby to the window to alert officers that a child was in the vehicle. The family attorney argues that the vehicle was driving away from the police officers, pointing out that the bullet holes on the passenger side of the car. They also stated that the self-checkout footage will show the items in question, allegedly diapers, were actually paid for. So they weren't even shoplifting in the first place. They say that the 1-year-old was struck in the rib cage and pronounced dead at the local hospital. The family friend driving the car sustained critical injuries from multiple gunshot wounds, while the mother was physically unharmed. The police officer who fired the fatal shot has been placed on administrative leave without pay. And then we know that the family has got Ben Crump, the civil rights representation. The shooting provoked civil unrest in that location. Demonstrators clashing with the law enforcement outside the Walmart were resulting in police deploying tear gas. And they are still waiting. The state officials have promised to release all video evidence to the public. That includes the body cam footage and everything. Dash cam footage, store surveillance. So we'll have to wait to find out exactly what footage and what that looks like. But like I said, y'all, let me know your thoughts and let me know if you disagree with anything I said. That's a crazy situation, an awful situation.